This is All India Radio Mangaluru. Dear listeners, in today's Talk in English program now, Professor Karunakar A. Kotegar, Director, International Collaborations, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Mahe, Manipal, will speak on the topic National Education Policy 2020 and the vexed issue of employability.
National Education Policy 2020. This policy is very vocal about a lateral shift in education in India. Even after 7 decades of independence, we are following a system developed by the British to rule this country. NEP 2020, the vision of the policy is to build a global best education system rooted in Indian ethos, transforming India into global knowledge power. In the document, they have defined 5 pillars which are equally important for implementing this policy. The number 1, access. Every citizen of this country should get access to the quality education. Equity. Student may be from any background, any social environment. He should get equal opportunity like an urban student. Quality. Every citizen of this country should get highest quality education. The 4th pillar is affordability, which speaks about the price or the cost involved for education should be as minimum as possible. The 5th pillar is accountability. Every educational institution is accountable. Purpose of the education, as mentioned in the policy, is to develop good human beings capable of rational thought and actions, possessing compassion and empathy, scientific temper and creative imagination with a sound ethical mooring and values. Aim of the policy is to produce engaged and productive contributing citizens for building an equitable, inclusive and plural society as envisaged by our Constitution. The policy speaks more about education and less about qualification and is considered a lateral shift in the educational space of this country. One of the essential points this policy insists on is improving the employability skills of all the students who undergo various levels of education in India. We consider this document a revolutionary document as the vision of the policy is to make youth self-reliant through skill-based education, making them independent people who can take care of themselves immediately after completing their education. When we talk about employability skills, in general, it can be defined as a skill that every individual has to acquire to make themselves employable. Along with sound technical knowledge or understanding of the subject, the employer always looks for some soft skills that are also very important to make someone employable. Some essential soft skills are communication skills, leadership skills, teamwork skills, interpersonal skills, learning and adaptability skills, self-management skills, organization skills, computer skills, problem-solving skills, open-mindedness as skill, and very importantly, a strong work ethics. These soft skills cannot be learned in isolation. All the skills need to be taught with the course they are undergoing. In school level of the policy, it speaks about less content in the textbook and more time that need to be spent on the ground for experiential learning. When we talk about employability skills, vocational education plays a significant role. This policy promotes vocational education from the 6th standard onwards till 8th standard. The policy says there should be no separation between co-curricular, extracurricular, sports, and academics. The policy has a detailed plan in place to take care of slow learners as well as fast learners. The policy promotes holistic learning where each individual has their knowledge choice and assessment will be different for different subjects. As it is a multidisciplinary education, it helps him to develop as a person with a broader knowledge of all the fields and expertise in his domain. This facilitates for every engineering student to study philosophy and environment so that he can contribute to the sustainable development goal of the United Nations. Similarly, every medical student will get a chance to study philosophy and moral ethics to take care of society's healthcare with a good human spirit and values. In general, when a person takes multidisciplinary learning, he can develop himself as an overall holistic individual rather than just a domain expert in one area of his expertise. In ancient Indian education system, it was a multidisciplinary approach which used to teach all 64 kalas or arts. When an individual goes through such an educational system, he can face any life challenge seamlessly. The logical structure suggested by National Education Policy will have increased emphasis on discussion, debate, communication, research, and opportunities for cross-disciplinary and interdisciplinary thinking, which helps an individual to develop his employability skills. In addition to multidisciplinary education, the policy suggests vocational education in higher education. In the future, all higher education institutions should develop vocational courses, especially in partnership with industries and NGOs. This kind of emphasis on vocational education ensures that entire school, college, university ecosystem includes vocational education as part of their curriculum. The policy speaks about the partnership with the industry, which will provide hands-on experience and help to create robust talent pipeline in all higher education institutions. The ITIs, Polytechnic, and other initiatives will provide opportunities to develop a tailor-made program for all higher education institutions. The industry will have a chance to work with higher education institutions to create tailor-made program to help the sector accept readily available employable graduates into their enterprises. Every student has to undergo an internship which provides an opportunity with local industry, business, artists, and craft persons, as well as research internship with a faculty and researchers at their own or another higher education or research institution, so that students may engage with the practical side of the learning, the product that improves their employability skills. One of the important features of the policy is credit mobility. This policy says that in higher education institution, 40% of the credit can be earned from various other means apart from their own college. How to accommodate this? Example, if a student wants to learn something which is not available or it is not taught in his college, he can learn that subject from a different university or from an online mode or from a foreign university. All these credit, whatever in future students earns from his university or from various other institutions, will be accumulated in academic bank of credit, which is digital in nature, and it always verifies the credit earned and helps in seamless transfer of those credits to the home university to award a degree. Hence, employability skills can be increased by student choosing a subject of his interest and transferring those credits to his own university with the help of Academic Bank of Credit. The other feature of the policy is internationalization of higher education. This is the third policy of independent India where internationalization of higher education got its space. The purpose of internationalization is to make a citizen global citizen so that every educational institution can develop a competency-based curriculum which can be imparted to Indian students as well foreign students who want to study in Indian institutions. Thereby, it helps in increasing the employability quotient of our citizens so that he can get globally employed. The policy speaks about cutting-edge areas and human resource development in that domain. The first area that are gaining prominence include 3D printing, big data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, genomic studies, nanotechnology, and neuroscience, with many more, with essential applications in health, environment, and sustainable living. These 21st century skills will help students to get employment opportunities immediately after their studies. An apprenticeship training scheme is one of the most effective ways to develop skilled human resources for the industry. The National Apprenticeship Training Scheme in India is a one-year program equipping technically qualified youth with a practical knowledge and skill required in the field of work. The apprentice is imparted training by the organization at their workplace. The scope of the National Apprentice Training Scheme has been expanded to include a student from humanity, social science, and commerce, besides students from engineering stream. In conclusion, we can say that future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them creatively, as stated by Robert Greene. National Education Policy 2020 is a vital step forward towards restructuring the educational ecosystem in India. Future graduates are equipped with vocational, employable, and entrepreneurial skills at different stages of training and education. Indian youth will not only be job seekers but the potential job providers. That is the offering we all can expect from NEP 2020 for the youth of this country. Purpose of education is to develop a human holistically, and we all anticipate that NEP 2020 will help in holistic human development for this country. Along with that, it also generates a lot of employment opportunities, and whatever menace we have seen in the education system, which is founded by the British rulers, is going to be the history for this country.
Dear listeners, you have just heard a speech, National Education Policy 2020 and the Vexed Issue of Employability by Professor Karunakar A. Kotegar. This talk came to you from the studios of All India Radio Mangaluru.